There are lots of uses for chew toys in your training as well as in your adult dog's life. Whether you're redirecting that puppy away from something that you don't want them to chew and replacing it with a chew toy that you do want them to chew, or you're giving your dog a safe toy that they can have when you aren't able to supervise them. Today we're going to talk about chew toy training for those dogs who don't naturally love to chew. I'm Ken Steep, and welcome back to McCann Dogs. Teaching a dog to enjoy chewing can have all kinds of benefits for some of the reasons that we mentioned earlier, but if you have a dog who doesn't enjoy chewing, the first thing I want you to do is make sure that you've got an appropriately sized chew toy. Now, I went and picked up one of these Nylabone Essentials chew toys at our local pet store. And this would be for one of our bigger dogs, Deegan, our black lab, or some of our border collies would probably enjoy chewing on this. It's also going to be a little bit safer for them. The worst thing you can do is buy a chew toy that's too small for your dog. Dogs have such great bite pressure that they can really damage their teeth if you get them too small of a chew toy. But this might be a little bit big for like Hippie Shake. Hippie Shake doesn't naturally like to chew very much, and it's something that we've worked with her on. And this toy wouldn't be, if I were introducing this to a small dog, this wouldn't be the size of toy that I would choose. Now, as I mentioned, there are different flavors that you can get. This one's actually chicken flavored, and I know I've seen all kinds of different flavors out there. In fact, there's actually a pizza nylon bone chew toy that I saw for dogs that looked pretty cool, and if I were a dog, I think that's the one I would choose. Now, something else you can try if you have a dog who doesn't really like to enjoy chewing is to get a different density of chew bone. Now, this one's a little bit softer. It's a Wagware. I'll post a link in the description below if you guys want to check this one out specifically, but you can see it's just a little bit, it's not quite as hard, and this will allow that dog who doesn't really, isn't gratified by the chewing a harder bone to start to get the flex off of something like this, and it may entice them to chew a little bit more. Now, we all know somebody who has a dog who chewed up their shoes or who ate a sock or who got into the dirty laundry hamper, and there's a good reason for that. We all know that dogs have a very heightened sense of smell, and when they're investigating these things, those items that smell like you are of particular importance to them. So you can actually take advantage of that, and you can make that chew toy smell like you, and there's a couple of options. I mean, not like this, but all joking aside, if you were to put that chew toy under your armpit after you went to the yoga studio or just came back from the gym, or maybe if you're Canadian, you can toss it in your hockey bag. I couldn't find my hockey helmet. Found my skates though. Having these new and interesting smells on the chew toy may be the thing that entices your dog to engage with it. Now, when you first bring these toys home, they're actually really smooth, and your dog's goal is going to be to take tiny little flecks off of the chew toy. So what you can do to help make it a little bit easier for your dog if they don't necessarily like to chew is roughen the surface. Any rough surface will do. But that's going to make it a little bit easier for your dog to be gratified by the chewing on the bone if you've jump-started the process just a little bit. For those of you in a multi-dog household, giving that chew toy initially to one of the other dogs is often a good way to create some interest. Your dog really understands at that point that it's a resource that they probably want. So take advantage of that and give the toy to one of your other dogs who likes to chew before giving it to your dog who isn't necessarily interested in it. Treat that chew toy like something of value. If this is left out on the ground all the time so that my dog always has access to it, it becomes much less interesting. But if I only bring it out when we're hanging out on the couch watching a movie, or when he or she wants to engage with it, then it becomes a little bit more interesting, and it can really help you to entice your dog to engage with something like this if they think they've got limited time access to it. From puppies all the way up to senior dogs, chewing is a really natural behavior, and whether you're using it as a pastime to alleviate boredom or you're using it for training, maybe you're redirecting them away from something that you don't want your dog to chew and you're replacing it with something that you do want to chew, or you're just trying to maintain good dental health for your dog, these chew toys can be a really, really useful tool. So make sure you take advantage of what you learned today in the training. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We publish new videos every single week to help you to have a well-behaved four-legged family member. That video beside me is actually a video about teaching your dog to love playing with toys, and we talk often on the channel about how that's a really nice way to engage with them. On that note, I'm Ken. Thanks for watching. Happy training.